Oh, thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria, other network service of the NTA. It's now time for newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
And our newspaper reviewer, Chukwudi Okolu-Badia, is seated here in the studio. Chukwudi, beautiful morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Always good to look at you.
Thank you.
Have I told you she's an epitome of humility? I need to educate you in these matters.
No.
Demo, how was the weekend?
Awesome.
Don't mind this parrot.
He's still in the weekend. You can see how relaxed he is. Okay, let's quickly go to the papers. I'll begin with the business Nigeria, and above the masthead we have Lagos ranked world most congested city. Find the details on page 2. Tinubu names Abuja as PEMCOM chairman. You find the details on page 6. NIRA 2025 sparks investors rush into Nigerian insurance. Details on page 2. And the headlines: Nigerians grapple with expensive loans as defaults soar. That's coming from a survey. And Nigeria questions sharp inflation drop amid soaring living cost. That's Nigerians questioning the sharp inflation drop amid soaring living cost. And Naira slips to 1,560 Naira to dollar as dollar scarcity contractor payouts feel pressure. And at the bottom plate of the business Nigeria, Unity Providus merger sparks concerns over capital integrity and asset declaration. Now let's quickly go to the Daily Times newspaper. Below the masthead, Nigeria needs 22% of annual growth to achieve $1 trillion economy by 2030. That's coming from Nuremberger. You find the details on page 12. And by elections, mockery of democracy rehearsals for 2025 attributed to the Labour Party. And Shatima mourns Emir of Zuru. You find the details on page 6. Tinubu appoints Opeyemi Agbaje, PEMCOM chairman, as pension assets hits 24 trillion naira. Private sector credit falls by 1.69 trillion naira to 76.14 trillion naira in June 2025. Details on page 2. Rice production, farmers blame high price on cartel middlemen. Details on page 7. And Abuja wins senatorial seat in Anambra by election. You find all the details on page 9. Mr. Demola?
Okay, I have this Nigeria newspaper with me, and just beside that nameplate, we have Nigeria joins $6.5 million international push for Lassa fever vaccine. Details can be found on page 7. 4 trillion power bailout. CSOs demand transparency. SMEs households lament poor services by Disco amid high tariffs. Details can be found on page 4. And cybercrime, Nigeria deports 42 foreign convicts. 150 more await exit. Details on page 4. NITCOM rescued Nigerian workers alleged sexual abuse by Chinese employers in Central Africa Republic. Details of that story can be found on page 7. By-elections, APC sweeps 12 out of 16 seats. ABGA consolidates in Anambra. PDP clings to Oyo. NNPP clinches Kano. Page 2 is where you can find the details. Chooks.
Thank you, Demo. The 4 trillion naira bailout, the presidency has approved for debt financing, which is obviously going to make Genco smile, is one that we should call laudable. but the booby traps would always be there. It's not money you release in one fell swoop, that's for sure. So we're going to have to explore, we have to trace, we have to monitor whether it's coming in tranches as promised and all that. It's very important that it is a seamless thing. You know, no, it's not an accusation, but I feel that journalism in this country has become a one fell swoop thing. We have to learn to take the story and to trail it thereafter. That is the way you hold people accountable. So Mr. President's good intentions have to be monitored to ensure that eventually it all percolates into steady power for, you know, the generality of Nigerians. It's a very commendable one. The farmers are blaming cartels for high prices of rice, you know, and all that. Yeah. You know, sometimes you begin to ask whether we don't show an innate ability to swindle and to be fraudulent. Sometimes people will tell you that those who are complaining that some people are thieving in Abuja is that they don't have a representative looter in Abuja. Once they get one, they keep quiet.
Exactly.
How can we go to heaven then if we need to? When I talk about
that's
ethical,
if they believe there's heaven.
Exactly. No, but they have to believe. Okay, fine. If they want God, it will be necessary to create him. And that's one of the French philosophers.
Yes.
Because it gives you peace of mind to think of the hereinafter. It's very important.
That somebody is monitoring your activities.
Exactly. Otherwise, you will become a loose cannon, doing whatever you like. There are ways of imposing discipline on yourself. How do you think? Let's not go into that. Okay? By-elections, mockery of democracy. That's Abga speaking there. Then people are saying it's a window on what is going to happen in 2027. The good news for the APC is that across the nation, where the by-elections held, 12 out of 16 seats were garnered by them. I am not against people complaining about things that didn't go well. Show me proof of how we should get that thing, you know, redone or retouched, if for nothing else, for the future to get better.
Yes.
Give me proof. That's all. The whining I hear from politicians on and on that does not quite mean much to me as a person. Give us proof so that Africa will get better. Because many of the things we talk about in Nigeria are actually African things. It's not different in Tanzania. It's not different in Congo.
In Congo, it's the same.
It's an African thing, and it's in our attitude.
Is it a black man thing?
It's a black man thing, but I don't agree with my friend who loquaciously announced that the black man's brain is half damaged. I nearly fought him that day. You know? I didn't know he was actually talking about me. There was money he sent. It belonged to me, and we were sharing the same account. And I was taking money from it because I had a mandate to take not more than 500K. So he was actually talking about me. I didn't even know. Don't tell me. I had justification for taking the money. If my salaries were not coming, for crying out loud, my children have to stay in school.
Okay, let's talk about pensions now. President Tinubu has appointed Okoyemi Agbaje as PENCOM chairman as pension assets hits 24 trillion naira. That's good news for pensioners.
Good news for pension and pensioners.
Yes.
The journalists will always go to where the water is half, the glass is half empty of water. Does this also translate into assurance that the money is intact and would go to the pensioners when they need it? I'm sorry, that's how we are trained to think as journalists. Yeah, there's this pamphlet. It's called The Mind of Mr. J.G. Reader. They asked him, how do you catch thieves? I think like them. That's how I get them. So we would always warn about what could endanger the good news you just read about. Let's make sure that these things are kept in the holiest of places so that it goes to the people when they need it. Very important.
And we mourn the Emir of Zulu yesterday.
I don't quite think that Africa is still fighting tribal wars in modern ways, but it's something close to that. Because it diminishes the traditional stool of Africa, which I cherish as a person.
Yes.
I'm a traditionalist to a very great extent. You might poo-poo and laugh at certain things Africa does, but some of the things that make life livable are because they are done the African way. The typical American boy takes a rifle and starts shooting people. He goes amok because he's left to cater, for himself quite early in life. But here in Africa, people are kept in your household till
married with children,
even when they are
feeding
36. It is stupid economically,
Yeah.
but it helps Africa retain some level of sanity.
Yeah.
How?
The people are not cast out there where they can now begin to expose themselves to a lot of...
Is that not why they are lazy?
I don't know whether LAZY is the issue. Okay, if somebody gets out of university now for 6 years, he can't get a job. The first pair of shoes he bought, he changes them after 3 years.
The thing there is this.
Don't you think that...
But there are people who, after graduation...
The thing there is, over there, in other climes, even you're going to the university is by yourself. So you begin to think right from the age of 16 or 18, outside the box, how you're going to fend for yourself. You begin to be more creative and innovative. How do you get, resources to fund your living? Because you know that your parents' hands
I
are
agree.
off.
At 18,
they are keying into a culture that has been set. But then they also got opportunity to lay out a livelihood that is encouraged into the axis you're talking about.
But let's take a step back.
Yes.
During days when we were growing up.
Yes.
Why were we doing temporary jobs then?
Well, fine, we were doing temporary jobs.
Why were we doing it? It gave us a sense of independence.
Yes.
We'll just go back to school. My father doesn't even know. You come home and now find us at home.
Yes.
It made us independent. But how can you keep a 30-something-year-old man?
You are
who has a girlfriend that he goes to meet, goes to parties, but he doesn't know how to look for money to feed himself.
You're pushing it to the region of stupidity. You're sounding like Hannah to Akilu, the daughter of the Sadaunas, the secretary to the Sadauna.
Yes.
I interviewed her, and she said, one of the problems we have is that we now have a generation of people who feel entitled.
Thank you.
Those are the people you're talking about.
And we're eneblers. We that worked doing temporary jobs have these children now.
This psychology class has to end. I hear our time is up.
Yeah, Chooks, don't feel that you are entitled to more time. So your time is off.
You're encouraging me to be talkative.
Mr. Chooks, thank you so much.
Bless you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, we take a break now. The conversation will kickstart when we come back. Stay with us.